phone cameras have become the #1 selling point for flagship phones. And MKBHD, one of the most respected tech reviewers on the planet, just made a video saying that might actually be a problem. And honestly, he's right. But I think he didn't go far enough, because the real issue isn't just the cameras, it's that phone companies are running out of things to say and consumers are starting to notice. Stay with me. This one is important. So MKBHD dropped a video recently talking about how smartphone cameras have sort of peaked, and in some areas are actually going backwards. Not entirely declining, but not always getting better either. He makes some strong points, and I agree with most of them. But today I want to zoom out even further and talk about what this camera obsession is actually doing to the industry, and why it's starting to frustrate real people.
As people and culture valued the ability to take quick, high-quality pictures and videos more and more, you of course see the cameras improving drastically on the back of our phones, year over year. It would be a legitimate selling point that a camera on a new generation of phone is way better than the year before. And so this continued as phones got bigger and better, and cameras got a bit bigger and better until right around the 2010s. Phones did eventually stop getting way bigger, and camera bumps, of course, still grew, but now at this point, we're basically maxing out how much phone you can carry in your pocket. Like, there's basically no more room left in here. It's physics.
Okay, so first, MKBHD is absolutely right on this point. Camera has become the selling point for flagship phones, especially iPhones. Every single year, Apple gets on stage, and the first thing they spend 20 minutes talking about is the camera system, cinematic mode, photonic engine, 48 megapixels, ProRes video. And look, those things are genuinely impressive. I'm not going to sit here and pretend the iPhone camera isn't great. It is, but, and this is a big but, when the camera becomes the entire argument for why you should spend $800, $900, $1,000 on a new phone every year, that's a sign that everything else has stopped moving. And the data proves that people are catching on. According to a 2025 report by Consumer Intelligence Research Partners, 42% of US iPhone buyers in the 12 months ending September 2025 were replacing a phone they had owned for at least 3 years. That's up from just 24% 5 years ago. Think about that. 5 years ago, less than a quarter of iPhone buyers were waiting 3 or more years. Now it's nearly half. The average smartphone replacement cycle in 2025? 3.5 years. And it's still climbing. People are not upgrading. And it's not because they can't afford it, it's because they look at the new phone and ask, what exactly am I getting that justifies this? And the answer keeps coming back to a slightly better camera. That is not enough anymore. Here's where I want to push this further than MKBHD did. The problem isn't just that cameras are the focus, the problem is that companies are releasing new phone series every single year with incremental minor updates, and slapping a new number on it. iPhone 14 to iPhone 15, iPhone 15 to iPhone 16, iPhone 16 to iPhone 17. If you line them up next to each other and hand them to someone who doesn't follow tech closely, they cannot tell you which is which. And people on Twitter are already saying exactly this. I pulled some tweets this week. This isn't a small group of complainers. This is a growing sentiment that Apple and other manufacturers need to take seriously. Because here's the thing, where if the average person is keeping their phone for almost 4 years now, what does that say about the yearly release cycle? It says people have already voted with their wallets, they're just not making noise about it yet. Now I want to be fair here. And this is important. There are genuinely great things about modern phone cameras. Computational photography has changed what's possible. The fact that you can shoot 4K video on a device in your pocket and it looks cinematic. That's genuinely remarkable. But there's a difference between remarkable and reason to upgrade. And phone companies have confused the two for too long. The camera was a great story to tell in 2018, 2019, 2020. It carried the whole industry, but in 2025 and beyond, that story is getting old, and consumers can feel it even if they can't articulate it. So what should phone companies actually be doing? Here's my take. And I think this is what the industry needs to hear. Stop releasing a new flagship every single year with a slightly better chip and a marginally improved camera sensor. Take 2 years. Take 3 years if you need to. Come back with something that genuinely changes how people use their phone. Battery life that lasts 2 days, not 1. Durability that means you don't need a case. AI integration that actually saves you time in your real life, not just demos. Satellite connectivity as a standard feature everywhere. Foldables that work properly and don't cost $2,000. Those are the updates people would upgrade for. Those are the announcements that would make people line up again. The camera has been the easy answer for too long, and MKBHD's video, whether he intended it this way or not, is a signal that even the people who love this stuff are starting to feel it. The backlash is coming. The data already shows it's here.
And I'm not the only one who thinks this. Look at the comments on the short that I published with all these photos in them. A lot of other people feel that way too. So this is now the balancing act.
The only question is whether Apple and Samsung are paying attention. So do I agree with MKBHD? Yes, mostly. But I think the camera conversation is just the surface. The real issue is a yearly release cycle built on incremental updates that people are no longer willing to pay for. And the market is already responding. Quietly, steadily, and in large numbers. Now I want to know what you think. Are you someone who upgrades your phone every year? Or are you in the camp that's holding onto your device and waiting for something that actually feels worth it? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If this kind of honest, no-filter tech commentary is your thing, you already know what to do. The real Byte. See you in the next one.